Afternoon, everyone. This is the relearning for NFSL.b.2 speed problems using algebra to solve a problem. Make sure that your name, your period, and the letter that you are assigned for your schedule are appearing at the top of your relearning sheets. We're going to start with reviewing our 4 steps to solving a math problem in science. So you will see there's a spot on your relearning sheet to list those 4 steps. So please write them down. As I go through the video, you might need more time to write things down. So you should pause the video while you're taking notes to make sure that you have enough time. I will not necessarily leave you enough time. The first step is to list what you know. Second is to pick the equation. Third, plug in your numbers. And 4 is to solve. So let's do some practice. So you should write down the 3 equations. I will go ahead and switch. I'm going to be back and forth between the PowerPoint and my document camera today. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So on your sheet, underneath the standard, go ahead and write speed equals distance divided by time. Time equals distance divided by speed. And distance equals time times speed. All right, let's look at our first practice problem. So Bart ran 5,000 meters from the cops at an average speed of velocity of 6 meters per second before he got caught. How long did he run? Let's do this in seconds, even though it says meters, minutes. So I'm going to switch here. And the first step that I need to do is I need to list what I know. And what do I know? So Bart's running 5,000 meters. And his average speed is 6 meters per second. Now, one thing a lot of you who got messed up on the test, one thing you often missed was you misidentified the variable. So if it said the speed was 6, you put it under the time, and that is going to mess up everything you do afterwards. Okay, the second step is to pick an equation, and I'm looking for time, so I'm going to pick the one that has time by itself. Time equals distance divided by speed. Then I'm going to rewrite it and plug in my numbers. Time equals 5,000 meters divided by 6 meters per second, which will give me my answer. Now, just like on the actual test, feel free to use a calculator. If you do not own a calculator, you may use the calculator sign-on on your Chromebook. So we're going to divide 5,000 by 6. It's really important that you put in the top number first and then hit divide before you put in the bottom number. If you don't do it that way, you will not get the answer. The answer is 833, and we're going to round to the nearest 1,000. And then we're in time, so we look meters, seconds. 6 seconds is going to be our units. Last but not least, circle or put a box around your answer. Moving on, problem number 2. Mike rides his motorcycle an average speed of 20 meters per second for 500 seconds. How far did he ride? I'm going to shrink this box a little bit more. So again, I'm going to list what I know. So his average speed is 20 meters per second. The time is 500 seconds. And we're looking for distance. Does that look right? How far did he ride? Yep, it's asking for distance. So you're going to write distance equals speed times time. Plug in our numbers. 20 meters per second times 500 seconds. 20 times 500 equals 10,000 meters and put a box around the answer. Now, one thing you got to be really careful of, a whole bunch of you, and I cried a little bit for you, put, like if the answer was the answer was 10,000, somewhere on the test, there was a question that the answer was 200,000, and a whole bunch of people put 20,000. That's a big difference. The answer was 10 times that amount. And so you got to be really careful about what you're putting in as the answer. Like, let's look at question number 3. So Tina's calculations of the tarantula. This might sound familiar. We did this problem before. Excuse me, I'm just listing my letters. Tina's calculations of the tarantula found the spider was able to cover 20 centimeters in 5 seconds. What's the average speed? So the question is, what's the speed? I'm going to put a question mark there. 20 centimeters is the distance, and t is the time for 5 seconds. Speed equals distance divided by time, and plug in my numbers. 20 centimeters divided by 5 seconds equals 4 centimeters per second, and put a box around my numbers. All right, those are the word problems, and we did all right with that. The biggest issue we had, and I'll blow this up here, were these questions here. And what this question, I'll make this a little bigger here. What this question showed, and where a lot of people had a hard time, was actually calculating the speeds that were like the speeds you had on your speed lab. So if we're doing this one, we have to go back to what's our equation to find speed. And our equation to find speed is speed equals distance divided by time. And so if we're looking at this, these are actually the numbers from your test. So we're going to go, the first one is, so I'll make a hopping, 5 meters was 5 meters divided by 3.37 seconds. And we have hopping 5 meters, or excuse me, 10 meters, 6.89 seconds. And then walking backwards. And you can't see what I'm doing, but I'll show you what I'm doing, sorry. So I'm just walking backwards. 5 meters divided by time, and then walking backwards. $10 meters divided by some amount of time. What are those times? The 5 meter time is 6.43 seconds, and the 10 meter time is 11.93 seconds. So then we just have to solve for our answers. So I'm going to plug in my calculator. First I have 5 divided by 3.37, which is 1.48 meters per second. Then I have 10, sorry, my 10 got a little messy there, divided on 6.89, which equals 1.45 meters per second. And then we've got 5 divided by 6.43, which equals 0.77, which actually gets down to 78 meters per second. And then last but not least, 10 divided by 11.93, which equals 0.84 meters per second, if I did that correctly. Okay, so you're just using your equation, speed equals distance divided by time, over and over again. Okay, so on this one I said you can show as much work as necessary, but I think that really ended up being a trouble for a lot of you, and you divided incorrectly. Take a minute and on your work, go ahead and circle the slowest speed. Sorry, wrong window. So looking So again, we're looking at this question. Circle the slowest speed. So we're going back to looking at our 4 speeds, our hopping 5 meters, hopping 10 meters, walking backwards 5 meters, and walking backwards 10 meters. And then I'm going to ask you to circle the slowest speed. And the answer would be this one. Why? It's like if you're driving on the road by school, you're going to be driving about 30 miles per hour versus the road on the highway, you'd be driving 60. Now, which one of those is faster? Bigger number. Okay. So I hope this helps. There are some problems on the back. You should do those and turn them into me by the end of the week. And you can actually, how about I'll give you a week to turn those in. All right. I hope this helps. Please come and see me if you have any questions. Thank you and have a great day.